All right, Judavision subscribers, welcome back to the show. As you know, I'm still writing my new book, The Last Sun God, which the coronavirus shenanigans kind of slowed down with all the predictive programming surrounding that in the news and whatnot. And I haven't done a show in a while, so I was watching the news and I thought this one little glimpse of truth that I just listened to might make a good posting, since it's such a rare occasion to see the truth in the news. But this is a local news show, and it's a local doctor, and if you listen, he even says that among his group, the CDC and the WHO, the World Health Organization, are losing credibility amongst doctors in his group. Now, this is amazing because every single news source we have, which are all owned by the same people, are scaring the world and telling the world that everybody's going to die. But all that said, I want to preserve this moment in pictures, since the truth is pretty scarce these days. So listen carefully. Enjoy.
Thank you, Brittany. It is 7:35 right now. Dr. Art Mollen is here, as always, answering your questions about coronavirus. And we're going to start with vaccines. Are we any closer, Doc, to getting one?
Well, I know they keep touting that, and from the CDC to the FDA, and they're trying to fast track a lot of these clinical trials. My experience with clinical trials, having been a primary investigator in a lot of clinical trials over the years, it suggests they have a long way to go. And I think they have to test the efficacy of the clinical trials, and to make sure that the vaccine actually works. You want to wonder about the side effects that you could potentially have immediately, and also the side effects long term, maybe 6 months or a year later. What are the side effects of that? In addition to that, you have to make sure that the antibody levels are high enough that it's going to protect someone from it. So to say that we're going to have a vaccine in October, November, and be ready for mass distribution, I think is absolutely ridiculous. And at this point, I'm seeing the CDC and the FDA, and among my peers, they're losing a lot of credibility. So there are 5 pharmaceutical companies that are actually coming out, on Monday, I think, with a statement that they are joining together and they will not release these clinical trial vaccines that have not been stabilized, until they're all in agreement and they have been vetted and they think that they are actually efficacious and acceptable for people. So I think that's really good, and that's to their benefit as well.
So speaking, though, of those clinical COVID trials, can folks volunteer? I mean, is that going to be in the future sometime where you could volunteer for a clinical trial for COVID?
Yeah, well, I'm hearing that right now. In fact, I had a patient in this week, and they said, they offered him $700 to be involved in a clinical trial. And I said, I really don't think at this point volunteering for a clinical trial, and especially because we really don't know the safety and, again, the efficacy of these particular vaccines that they're coming out. So, yeah, they have clinical trials. They're trying to recruit a lot of people, but they're not having a lot of success because many people are skeptical of what they're hearing. And, again, the distrust in the CDC and the FDA. So
this time next year, if you could look into a crystal ball, Labor Day 2021.
So this newscaster keeps prodding him for this hope that the mainstream news is selling you about this upcoming vaccine that Trump says the military will give to every person on this planet. But anyways, you see this doctor's voice was even shaking as he was delivering you the truth, and his peers are losing credibility in the CDC and the WHO, and this should scare everybody. Thank you for joining Judavision, and God bless.